Apparently, if you press your super button while you have this melee equipped, you will be completely immune to fall damage and all other types of physics damage. No way, it actually works. All right, myth confirmed. Let's move on to the next one. Apparently, if you slide in this specific part of the tower, you will get launched forward at like 1,000 miles an hour. Myth confirmed. I did not expect that to work. A lot of people assume that stasis is ice because, I mean, let's be honest, it kind of looks like it is. But according to Bungie, this is not true at all. Apparently, Wolfpack rounds look like tiny little wolves, so they are actually making a Wolfpack. These things are so incredibly small that it's almost impossible to see them, but I did manage to get this screenshot where you can clearly see they are actually wolves and the myth is confirmed. Will an anti-barrier Izanagi's burden collateral an entire team of Guardians? Oh my gosh. Myth confirmed. That was only the first 5 of the 150 myths you guys sent in. This one is pretty wild, but I've heard that transmog can increase the actual stats on your character, like resilience, for example. All you have to do is transmog your chest to this armor piece and myth confirmed. I went from 99 to 100 resilience. That is actually insane. Apparently, if you inspect someone's weapon, but then they switch to a different one, it will become extremely large. Oh my gosh. If you stand under where the glimmer pile will spawn on the heroic glimmer extraction event, you will get yeeted times 10,000 according to this guy. The event isn't here right now though, so we'll get back to this one later. There's a myth that this emblem has a secret message hidden inside of it. If you convert the image into sound by treating it like a spectrogram, it supposedly sounds like someone is saying, "I'm in trouble." I can definitely hear it. Nobody knows if this was just a coincidence or if it was somehow intended by Bungie, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. Whenever I watch a weapon review video that mentions the perk Vorpal Weapon, the content creator always says something like, "Oh yeah, that increases your damage versus supers by like 15% or 20%. Let's see how much it actually boosts your damage." Without Vorpal Weapon, it does 8 damage. And with Vorpal Weapon, it's doing 13 damage. That is way more than a 15% increase. So to set the record straight, here is how Vorpal Weapon actually works. I've heard tons of people say that some finishers are faster than others, but after reviewing the evidence, it turns out that this myth is busted. Every finisher takes exactly the same amount of time to complete, down to the millisecond. Supposedly holding the shield button down on your glaive will make it melee faster. So here's normal, and here's with the shield. The Zali's Bane hand cannon reload looks like this, but apparently it's completely broken from a third-person perspective. Oh yeah, it looks totally different. Myth confirmed. I've heard a lot of people saying that ammo pickups are glitched because sometimes they give less ammo than normal, but it's actually just because there are 2 different types of ammo. I didn't know about this until kind of recently, but the glowy one on the left is from an ammo finder mod, and it will give less ammo than the one on the right, which is just a normal ammo drop. So myth busted. The ammo is not glitched, it's just the result of a mod. If you have a Void Buddy and an Arc Soul at the same time, the Arc Soul will actually orbit around the Void Buddy. Yo, it's working. Myth confirmed. I am always so impressed by Bungie's attention to detail. According to this guy, if you stand within an heir apparent's shield, it negates the shield and does regular damage. Myth busted. It looks like you still have to break the shield before you can hit the Guardian. This fragment is supposed to make kinetic weapons deal more damage to frozen targets, but apparently it doesn't work if your kinetic weapon uses special ammo. Myth confirmed. This is definitely bugged. Apparently Wishender does more damage to targets that are hit by a Wither Horde. Yeah, it's dealing crit damage. Myth confirmed. According to this guy, you can have someone push you around while doing the selfie emote, and the camera will just remain in exactly the same spot. No way. I could just leave. I could just go off into the distance and the camera will stay here. Oh, the camera follows you around too. That's too funny. The resilience stat is supposed to reduce the amount of incoming flinch you have, but apparently it doesn't actually work in PvP. Looking at the 2 side by side, they are almost the same, but the resilience is helping, so myth busted. Apparently you can completely break the game by casting your behemoth super over and over and then shooting the crystals with the tractor cannon. Yo, all right, error code bird. Myth confirmed. Tractor cannon and behemoth break the game. Apparently, if you stand on this light in the enclave, it allows you to make the biggest possible shadow in Destiny 2. All right, I am on the light. Let's see where the shadow is. Oh my gosh, it's actually huge. And speaking of which, I'm on a mission to become the largest shadow gaming channel on YouTube. This guy is currently ahead of us, so hit the subscribe button so we can pass him up. Apparently way out of bounds in the distance, there's this small place where you can survive on the Eternity map. I'm using my Thunder Crash to get over there to see if it actually exists. Myth confirmed. There's just this tiny little area where you can hang out. Some emotes can be used to dodge incoming fire in the Crucible. Myth confirmed. Apparently the Knucklehead radar exotic will increase the range of your radar. So right now I'm wearing it and my radar is red, but if I take it off, my radar is still red. Myth busted. There's a myth that there's a secret scannable item outside of the map on Wormhaven way over here on this wall. And I mean, that doesn't really seem so likely, but let's check it out. No way. I thought this myth was definitely going to be busted. Apparently emoting to put part of your body underwater will prevent you from getting shot. Myth busted. It's doing literally nothing. There's a myth that damage over time effects like the one from the Thorn will delay your health regeneration. Myth busted. It's regenerating just as fast as normal. However, it will slightly delay my shield regeneration. Apparently, if you use a finisher on an exploding enemy like an exploding shank or a cursed thrall, you will take 0 damage because you push them away before they explode. Myth confirmed, it definitely works. A lot of people seem to misunderstand how buff timers work. For example, if a timer starts at 6 seconds, that means the buff actually lasts for 7 seconds. The Thorn shoots actual thorns, and apparently they are larger than the weapon itself. Myth confirmed, those thorns would definitely not fit in the actual weapon. Apparently, if 2 people tie in a rumble game, both of them will win. All right, myth confirmed, we both got first place. Apparently, exploding yourself with the Prospector grenade launcher will absolutely launch you into the sky. The Dreaming City skybox is one of the most amazing things in this entire game. I've heard that there's a way to get twice the usual amount of heavy ammo in PvP. All you have to do is pick up heavy ammo and use shoot to loot at the same time. Apparently there's a little servitor ball that rolls around on this map, but I've looked all around the entire map and myth busted, it seems to have been removed. A sniper with anti-barrier rounds can shoot through these doors on Bannerfall. No, it cannot. There's a myth that the scorch burning effect can actually kill you. Myth busted. I'm still burning, but I have like 1 HP and I survived. You might know that the armor-piercing round perk allows you to over-penetrate your targets, but apparently it also allows you to over-penetrate your teammates. Ah yeah, there are bullet holes in the wall. Myth confirmed. Different supers have different color footprints on the ground. Myth confirmed. Does Jotun have infinite range? Apparently throwing a knife at your teammate will make it turn into a firework. Oh my gosh, what? In case you're wondering what it looks like from his perspective, here you go. There's a myth that holding the forward button while driving your Sparrow will make you go faster. Nope, we're going exactly the same speed while I'm not even holding the forward button, so myth busted. Servitors will sometimes make nearby enemies completely immune to damage, but apparently your super is not affected by this and can still hit the immune enemies. Myth confirmed. I am destroying all these enemies that are normally immune. There's a myth that 2 guardians using Wither Horde can hit the same target at the same time. Nope, myth busted. Mine doesn't even have damage numbers. Apparently you can save yourself from an incoming sentinel shield by knocking it off course with an explosive knife. It still killed me, but it did work, so myth confirmed. Apparently using unstoppable rounds will increase the amount of flinch in PvP. On the Twilight Gap PvP map, you can shoot right through this little gap. Myth confirmed. The boo emote will increase your hitbox size. You can shoot your opponents in Gambit before the game begins if you use a stasis crystal to climb all the way up here. Busted. The bullets are hitting an invisible wall. If an opponent stands really close to these doors on Bannerfall, their hands will actually go through the door and you can shoot them from the other side. This is hilarious. Myth confirmed. If someone stands behind you while you block with your Sentinel shield, it will actually drain your super energy slower. Myth confirmed, it's definitely draining slower now. Apparently your Guardian will die if you rapidly swap Touch of Malice. My screen's turning green. I think it's working. Myth confirmed, I have died. Reddit says that doing this in the tower will cause your entire game to crash. Myth busted, it definitely does not. There's a myth that the Gathering Storm super actually goes where you aim it. Apparently there's a way to deal full damage with your sword even if you have 0 ammo. This technique requires getting surrounded by enemies while wearing the Synthoceps and then hitting them with your sword hilt. Nope, it just did 103. This one's busted. Apparently there's an entire section of the EDZ that is usually blocked off, but you can travel there if you're in an instance of the Lake of Shadows strike. Wow, okay, myth confirmed. There's normally like a massive barrier that prevents you from going to this entire side of the map. I think this is like the area where we met Sagira. A lot of people seem to think that controllers have more aim assist than mouse and keyboard, but it's not that simple. Bungie has confirmed that bullets will actually curve 10 to 20% more on mouse and keyboard than they do on controller. Bungie also says that controllers have reticle friction in addition. Hopefully this finally clears up the confusion once and for all. You may have heard of the Dynamo mod. It reduces your super cooldown when using your class ability near targets. However, apparently it will also extend the duration of your super if you dodge while your super is active. So right now my super bar is going down, but if I dodge, It did add a little bit more duration, so myth confirmed. You can claim rewards from past seasons by going on Bungie's website and then heading to the season progress area. This is actually pretty cool if you forgot to claim something from a previous season. Apparently getting frozen while in your Thunder Crash will have hilarious and catastrophic results. Just stuck on the ground until I die. There's a classic myth in the Destiny community about barrel length and how it impacts the range of your weapons. We previously confirmed that longer barrels do increase range, but since then Bungie has said that they changed it, so longer barrels no longer provide an advantage. Let's see if they actually changed it. So as you can see, my Chaperone does 182 damage at this range, but then if I go in to switch over to the Panama Ravine ornament that has a longer barrel, it one-shots. All right, so myth busted. Barrel length still increases your range in Destiny 2. If you reflect a suppression grenade with your arc staff, it can suppress someone else's super. All right, myth confirmed. Apparently, invisible guardians are more difficult to see on console when compared to PC. And I'm looking at these in my editing software right now, and it's pretty close. I'm actually gonna say myth confirmed. I do think it is just a little bit harder to see invisible guardians on console. In the previous episode of Destiny MythBusters, we determined that you cannot shoot rockets out of the air in order to save yourself from dying. However, according to this guy, you can shoot rockets out of the air, but you can only do it with other rockets. Oh, it worked. Mine just has lasting impression, so it's gonna take a second to blow up, but myth confirmed, rockets can shoot each other out of the sky. Gjallarhorn can one-shot bubbles in PvP if you bounce it off of a hunter using the Blight Ranger exotic. Nope, myth busted, the bubble survived. Can you reflect the Gathering Storm super with your Arc Strider? All right, yes you can, myth confirmed. I've heard that even though Eyes of Tomorrow is a rocket launcher, it doesn't actually launch rockets. It definitely gives the illusion that it's launching rockets, but upon further inspection, the myth is confirmed. It actually launches these little bubbles at you. Do Sentinel shields from your super have infinite range? Nope, they're exploding before they get to the target. This one's busted. After we tested the Sentinel shield, we also discovered something that nobody expected. Whoa! There's a render distance. That's insane. It turns out that when you are this far away from people in the Crucible, they become completely invisible and the game stops rendering their character model. Of course, the next logical thing to do was to test if you could snipe someone who doesn't actually exist. Oh, if you use Ophidia Spaith to have 2 knives, you can get both of them back from just 1 dodge. Apparently, you can use movement tech to get way outside of the map on the Cathedral of Dusk. Oh, there he goes. He just instantly dies. There seems to be some very solid death barriers, myth busted. Apparently, Gjallarhorn's scope has a more accurate reflection than other weapons. Upon switching to my sniper though, it looks like the reflection is exactly the same, so myth busted. Apparently, the Malfeasance has a unique animation that causes your hands to tremble while you hold it. Oh yeah, myth confirmed. That is extremely subtle, but cool attention to detail, Bungie. Apparently, Xur is in World of Warcraft. Hold on, I've got to see this. Myth confirmed, the character is even called Xurios. That's actually hilarious. If you put a glacier grenade in one of these Cabal launchers, it will cause it to stop working. I am completely stuck right now, myth confirmed. Someone told me that kills after a Crucible game will still actually count towards your stats, so let's see if it works. Myth busted, it says 0 kills. Next up, we're testing if it's possible to play 3 PvP games with the most annoying weapons and then not get hate mail or get teabagged. So I've pulled out some weapons that are considered to be quite annoying, I've opened up my messages, and we're ready to go. For this first game of Rumble, we're using the Lorentz driver and pairing it with invisibility and wall hacks from Kepri's Sting. And while we test this myth, I'd like to tell you guys about HelloFresh. This game is going good so far, but I'm getting sandwiched by 2 guys right now. Let's see if I can survive. Oh, okay, he's probably mad about that. In times like this, when I'm really pressed for time, HelloFresh is ideal because they ship fresh, healthy, and easy to prepare meals right to your doorstep. I've got the Lorentz driver perk. I can just body shot people now. Oh gosh. Well, game 1 is over, and so far, no messages or teabags. In this next game, we're using the Jotun with Immortal Trip Mines. Surely this is gonna annoy at least somebody in the lobby. Honestly though, guys, if you're only grocery shopping, you're kinda doing it wrong. First of all, you're wasting a ton of valuable time doing the actual shopping, and since HelloFresh is 75% cheaper than grocery shopping, you're kind of also wasting your money. All right, and that was the second game, and still, nothing. I am pretty surprised. For our third game, I've equipped the infamous Le Monarque. According to a global food study, HelloFresh cuts down on food waste by 25% compared to grocery shopping. Everything is recyclable, and their entire company is carbon neutral, so they're incredibly sustainable overall. I did not deserve to win that. I was so distracted. I actually ended up losing, but after the game, this happened. Oh my gosh, there it is. So the myth is confirmed. It's impossible to play 3 games with annoying weapons and not get teabagged or sent some messages. There's literally no reason not to get HelloFresh, you guys. It's America's most popular meal kit for a reason. Use my link or go to HelloFresh.com and use code POGSHADOWNovember60 for 60% off plus free shipping on your first box. The YouTube description will update in real time and count your purchases, and you'll be supporting my channel. Thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring. Apparently with 10 resilience and 2 arc damage resist mods, you will be completely immune to arc damage while you're in your super. That is insanely busted. I don't know why Bungie thinks that is okay. If this one is true, I must be going blind, but apparently when you upgrade your artifact, it changes its appearance. I don't see any differences. Oh, okay, it does change, but only when you unlock a new tier. Apparently this shader makes armor look like shattered glass and adds a blue and purple glow. That is insane. It added like an entirely new texture and my eyes keep changing colors. That is awesome. Apparently Petra will only call you cousin if your character is awoken. I'm on an awoken hunter right now, so let's see what she says.
Don't hang back, cousin. I always have time for you.
I've seen a few posts out there saying that we could just reboot Cade 6 and he would be called Cade 7. Unfortunately, that is not really how exos work because reboots are used to repair them, not bring them back to life. Apparently on the moon, you can see the International Space Station in the skybox. Honestly, I am not seeing it, so either I'm blind or this one is busted. A few hours later though, I saw this. What on earth? That is not the International Space Station, but it's certainly some kind of satellite. Apparently you will get absolutely launched into the sky if you jump while depositing your motes. Holy shit. All right, myth confirmed. I've heard a lot of interesting ways of pronouncing this sniper's name. According to Bungie, it's a pun and it's actually pronounced macabre. A lot of people seem to think that putting know what to do in the description of your LFG group will make you have a really smooth run with no problems. Myth busted. One of the guys literally left in the middle of the encounter and then we got absolutely destroyed. Apparently opening bounties at the tower will give you more XP than opening them somewhere else. So here I am in orbit, it just gave me that much XP and now I'm gonna go to the tower and see if it gives me any more. Myth busted, it gave exactly the same amount of XP. When you use ricochet rounds, your bullets can ricochet off of water. Myth busted, they're just making tiny little splashes. Apparently you can climb the wall on the Cauldron PvP map. Oh, myth confirmed, that's a pretty cool spot. Apparently you can get more heavy ammo in PvP by increasing the magazine size of your machine gun. So right now I get 25 ammo, but now I'm gonna increase my mag size and see if I get extra ammo. I got 4 extra bullets. All right, myth confirmed. Apparently Saladin has become a little bit shorter in his old age. In order to get to the bottom of this, I had to dig up a few selfies that I've taken with my good friend Salad Man over the years. It does look kind of like he got shorter, but I think the true cause of this is that his feet are now kind of underground. So I'm gonna have to say myth busted. If you're falling, but you hop on a sparrow before you hit the ground, you won't take fall damage. So apparently in this truck on Widow's Court, there is a cat and it meows at you. I think I've heard that sound so many times, I just never realized what it was. There's a myth that you'll lose the progress on your tracker if you turn it off. This weapon has 1 enemy defeated. I'm gonna turn it off and turn it back on, and it's still there, so myth busted. Apparently Cabal Colossus do not have a stomp mechanic, and they will not fight back if you just stand right next to them. Yeah, myth confirmed. Since I'm standing right next to him, he has done literally nothing. He's just standing there and let us kill him. According to this guy, your super will charge faster if you dance. Busted. This does not work. According to a Reddit post, the reticle on Cloudstrike actually isn't in the center of the scope. Wow, actually just eyeballing it, it's noticeable. I can't believe I have thousands of kills on this weapon and I never saw that. Apparently switching your weapon right before you deploy your ghost will save you a lot of time because it will skip the ghost's animation. No, it actually seems to make it take longer. Apparently the Cabal play soccer and the proof can be found right over here. Myth confirmed, the Cabal love playing soccer. Apparently if you stand really close to a sniper, you can actually see the bullet exit the barrel. Upon further inspection, myth busted. All you can see is a bunch of fire. According to this guy, if you hold down the B button while falling, aka the crouch button, it reduces fall damage. Nope, myth busted. That is the normal amount of fall damage. If you stand up here while a public event is going on, you can see Cabal just randomly falling out of the sky. This guy says, if you slide and look behind you, you can see that you're cut in half. Myth confirmed, Guardians' legs are just detached from their bodies, I guess. A lot of people believe that rocket launchers like Wardcliffe Coil will deal bonus damage to vehicles, and this myth was widely spread when there was a bug on the Daughters encounter in Kingsfall. I'm not going to bore you guys with the damage numbers, but just know that the only weapons that actually deal bonus damage to vehicles are shotguns. Sometimes when I'm watching weapon reviews on YouTube, I hear people say that aggressive frame weapons have high caliber rounds built in. Bungie actually has confirmed though that this is simply not the case, so myth busted. This guy says there's a way to get infinite special ammo by doing literally nothing. So apparently you just need to switch your weapons until you have 0 ammo and then just wait for a while. All right, well, a few seconds later, I have plenty of special ammo in both my weapons, myth confirmed. Apparently there is a hidden out of bounds location that the community has named the Galaxy Pools. I don't have the slightest idea how to get there myself, but a Google search revealed that this does indeed exist, and it's one of the most hidden and difficult places to reach in the history of the franchise. So in a previous myth busting video, I determined that shooting your feet while standing in water does not damage you. But then I got this comment saying that you have to crouch and use a weapon that has ricochet rounds. So let's see if that makes any difference. Myth busted, it doesn't work. Do you get infinite melees when you cast your super in momentum control? Apparently you do. This is a new way to use Golden Gun. You just throw melees. Apparently the Cryptarch will only call out to you and talk about engrams if you have prime engrams in your inventory. So right now I have 2, and this is what he says.
I'm very curious to see what you've got for me to crack open.
All right, I have now deleted all the engrams from my inventory. Let's see if he says the same thing.
Very curious.
All right then, myth busted. His voice lines do not change depending on if you have a prime engram. In the Arms Dealer Strike, a ship comes down to pick up this tank, but apparently if you crouch right here, you can go flying with it. This can't actually work, right? No way, I'm flying. Oh my gosh. How high can we go? This is incredible. Oh my gosh, there's so much stuff that we can't normally see. Apparently your sword will whiff if your camera is not pointed towards the target. Nope, I was not looking towards him at all. If you have a weapon with literally 0 reload speed, can the animation become even slower if you get slowed by stasis? No, actually they're reloading at the same speed. Myth busted. There's a lot of conspiracy theories saying that certain weapon perks are more difficult to get than others. Bungie actually busted this one for us in a recent TWAB where they said that there are 0 cases in game where one perk is more likely to roll than another. Apparently if you throw a glacier grenade next to a Hydra and then shadow dive it, it will get absolutely launched off into the distance. Yo. All right, myth confirmed. Apparently big Halloween masks increase your hitbox in PvP. Myth busted, the bullets are just going right through it. All right, so you guys see this little branch right here that's sticking out from like the side of the wall? Apparently you can go up there and land on it, which would be a pretty insane spot. So let's see if it actually works. Oh, I mantled. Yes, I got it. I'm totally going to use this next time I get this map on the Crucible. This is wild. Shaxx really never takes off his helmet, but apparently we can see just a little glimpse of what he looks like if we put the camera right next to his helmet. Nope, myth busted. He looks to be completely hollow on the inside. Apparently this shader has a unique flickering effect that appears on some armor. Myth confirmed. That actually looks so cool. Apparently pulling out your ghost will increase his voice quality.
The traveler left them, and that brought ruin to their civilization.
It definitely sounds different, but I'm not sure if the quality is any better. I've heard a lot of people say this, but the controller experience on PC is really not that different from the controller experience on a console. As someone who has played on both extensively, the only real differences are performance, and you can also change the reticle location when you're on PC. Apparently you can have a third-person golden gun if you get the timing just right and cast an emote exactly at the same time as your super. All right, well, this is about my 47th attempt and it still isn't working, so I think this one is busted. Apparently you can convert an enemy's Nova Bomb onto your team by sliding into it with Antaeus wards. It works, myth confirmed. You can get the most insane sniper angle of all time by throwing a glacier grenade right here. Oh my gosh, this is nuts. Okay, this one's pretty dumb if it's true, but apparently you will get a lever penalty warning if you go to orbit after a Gambit game. Busted. It doesn't seem to do this. If you blink 3 times in a row, it removes your ability to slide. I am trying to slide right now, myth confirmed. Bungie really needs to fix this. It just makes blink bad for no reason. Apparently if you use the timeout emote, it will actually call timeout and prevent your opponents from hitting headshots on you. Nope, this one doesn't work. So in my previous myth busting video, I showed that if you spin while in your burning maul, it will make your camera go completely crazy and it can even go all the way to orbit. Apparently this was fixed though, so let's see if it still works. So while I was testing this burning maul thing, I think I might have found something else. I was able to do infinite hammer strikes for a short period without ever sprinting. I don't know how I was able to do this, and I'm not a Titan main, so if someone knows how this is possible, please comment below. You might think that the impact stat will determine how much damage a weapon does, but that isn't always the case when it comes to headshots. For example, the funnel web will do more damage than the pizzicato even though it has less impact. Apparently you can go below the landing area in the tower, and there's like this little ledge that you can land on. Oh, there's even a scannable down here. Speaking of scannables, apparently there's a unique interface that happens if you pull out your ghost, and I've just never seen it before. Look at that, myth confirmed. That is actually pretty cool. You can get silver in Destiny 2 completely for free just by subscribing to my channel. This one is actually confirmed. Check it out.
Hello?
So are you subscribed to my channel?
Yeah.
All right, well, in that case, congratulations. You just won 3,500 Destiny silver.
Wow. Subscribe to Shadow.
Thanks, dude. Apparently, if you go over here on the Cosmodrome Patrol, it's possible to get out of bounds and make your way all the way to the Grasp of Avarice dungeon. All right, I think we're getting closer. And there it is. We've made it to the Grasp of Avarice. Myth confirmed. So at the beginning of the video, I mentioned how this melee can save you from fall damage, but can it also save you from trains? There's a myth that controller aim assist will increase based on how much FPS you have. So this is how much aim assist I have when my frames are capped at 30, and then this is how much aim assist I have with uncapped frames. It looks like they're getting dragged almost exactly the same amount, so myth busted. There's a way to go invisible for 48 consecutive seconds. So all you have to do is finish an enemy with the Assassin's Cowl exotic, and then when your timer runs out, you just have to dodge to get an additional 24 seconds. So in my previous myth busting video, we confirmed that you can survive a Cabal drop pod by having an heir apparent shield and max resilience, but can you survive it with a Titan bubble? I survived. All right, myth confirmed. A bubble will save you from a drop pod. Apparently, Destiny 2 is best played with friends, and as someone who used to be a solo player before I found a good group of friends, I can definitely say that this one is confirmed. I also have a solution for all of you solo players out there. We have a super active community of Guardians on Discord who are always chatting and playing together, and you're welcome to join us at discord.gg/shadowdestiny. Apparently, there's a way to stick your trip mines in the sky. Apparently the quick charge mod makes it so that you can draw your swords faster, and I mean, it says it does right here. So this is with the mod off, and then this is with the mod on. It looks like they're exactly the same. I'll confirm later in editing software, but I think this one is busted. All sparrows are the same size regardless of how they actually look. Myth confirmed. I'm crashing into the wall, but my mini sparrow appears to be nowhere near it. Sometimes people like to say that you should only use the best meta weapons, but honestly guys, this is not the case. You should use whatever weapons you enjoy unless you really need to min-max for an endgame activity. So on the Cabal public event, the first volley usually destroys you if you're standing within the circle, but apparently you can just kind of hide underneath the rig and it'll allow you to survive. Let's see what happens. Oh, I almost died, but myth confirmed. Earlier I said we'd come back to this myth because it hadn't spawned yet, so now that it's here, let's see if it actually happens. I did get yeeted, but I also died, so I guess this myth is only kind of confirmed. You can blink through a hostile Titan barricade and take no damage. There's a hidden vendor in the tower that I can almost guarantee you have never seen in-game. To find out about this myth though, watch this video where I bust 60 more myths in Destiny 2. Thanks for watching, goodbye.